What's up, Canes fans? Happy Saturday. Peter Ariz here with Canes Insight. Wanted to bring you guys a little Canes Hoops pregame. I know we got a lot going on this afternoon with the college football playoffs, this SMU Penn State game about to get started. But again, wanted to just check in here before this Canes Hoops game. I'm not going to be able to do a post-game check-in because I'm going to be running around this afternoon. But I'm going to be going to the game, so I'm going to watch the first part of this playoff game here. Going to go to this Canes Hoops game. But wanted to do a pregame check-in, number one, and then kind of like a mid-season kind of where we're at real quick, just kind of looking at where we are, where things have kind of gone wrong to this point is Miami 4-7, just coming off a 7-game losing streak, finally breaking that last game against Presbyterian. But it's been a really tough go, and a lot of us were excited about this season with 9 new players, right? So you understand there's a lot of moving pieces, but you bring back a Nigel Pack, you bring back a Matthew Cleveland, and you say, okay, those are a couple good building blocks. And then there's a lot of proven players coming in from other places. Now, the puzzle hasn't fit together the way that we would have hoped. You also bring in your highest ranked recruiting class in school history. So all of that said, to say that this team right now is 4-7 with a really horrible showing in that tournament you go to in Charleston where you lose 3 in a row. Then you come back from that tournament and you say, okay, let's wipe that clean. 3 losses against solid teams that Drake, you're seeing that has had a great start to their season. But you say, okay, let's wipe that clean. Let's come back home and let's get this thing back on track before you have Arkansas and Clemson. You lose to Charleston Southern on that vaunted Saturday that the Canes football team lost to Syracuse also. So you lose to Charleston Southern when you come back home. And then you go into this really tough stretch against 3 teams that are extremely talented and you expect to be in play in March. One of them being Tennessee, another one being Arkansas. Coach Calipari and them came to town, and then Clemson, your first ACC game, which was a home game. Arkansas and Clemson, those were both games that Miami could have and probably should have won. Right, you played really well for stretches during those games. The rebounding, for as much as it was an issue during the tournament, it wasn't an issue as much during those couple games. Then you lose both of those games. You go to Madison Square Garden, you play against the number 1 team in the country, and again, you're playing toe to toe with them for most of that first half, and really battled in that second half. After things started even to get out of hand, they made a little run and kept it close there near the end. So you go through that stretch where you actually weren't playing that badly in those games, but you don't get any wins. Then finally you come back last weekend and you get the win versus Presbyterian. And now you have Mount St. Mary's to round out the year. You have 10 days off now before you have your road ACC opener on the first day of the year, January 1st against Boston College. So that's kind of the synopsis in terms of like the wins and losses and how we've gotten to this point. But just let's take a look at the roster and how it's been constructed and how things have looked minutes-wise and stats-wise and all that. And shout out to everyone on here. Appreciate the love for the Canes Hoops team. For those of you who are joining the broadcast right now, it's been a tough season, but we're sticking with it as the Canes have a game today. And if you're just joining me right now, doing a little pregame talk and kind of synopsis of where we are heading into going to be it's not the start of ACC play because you already played Clemson, but Boston College next week or January 1st, which will be the first ACC opener. So appreciate everyone on here. Want to remind everyone, this Canes basketball content, as always, is brought to you by Ariz Law. And guys, check out the website, arizlawpa.com. Set up a free consultation. This is my dad, if you guys weren't aware, as I've said before, and same last name, obviously, but no, it's trusts, it's wills. So this is planning your future, guys. If you have a family, if you're a parent, a grandparent, you have to secure your future. It's not fun stuff that people like to talk about, but no one better. And his office is on Coral Way in the Gables, heading towards Brickell. So you can go to his website, arizlawpa.com, and set up a free consultation I promise you guys, you won't regret that. So, looking at, again, this roster for the Canes basketball team and some of the expectations we had coming into the season and the guys who we added to the team, right? Obviously, I said it again, Nigel Pack, Matthew Cleveland are two of the returners, as well as our boy Paul Jobay. So those three come back. Pack and Cleveland, you expect to be two of the top 3 to 4 players on the team, right? You bring in Lynn Kidd, an experienced big man, not the most explosive player in the world, but a guy who's a double-digit scorer, averaging about 7 rebounds a game right now, averaging 0.8 blocks a game, very efficient from the field and from the free throw line, 70% from the field, 85% from the free throw line. He has limitations in his game, but all in all, he was a good pickup in the transfer portal. You needed some size there. Now you got Kyrie Huey in the portal as well, and he's been hurt. And Coach L has been saying we can't wait to get him back because he's a big defensive and rebounding presence that you're definitely lacking right now. Some of that physicality inside. So it'll be big to get him back. But Lynn Kidd, he's been fine. He's been solid. 28 minutes a game, so second on the team in minutes. Nigel Pack leading the team with 31 minutes. You bring in Jalen Blackman as a top 15 scorer in the country from Stetson, and on paper, great pickup, averaging 9.6 points a game right now, 42% from three, can really shoot from 3-point range. But the fit with him and Nigel Pack has been tough, and this is something that Coach L talked about before the season. Physically, they're both smaller. They're not the most athletically gifted guards, and when you get to ACC play now, it's physical guard play, and it's guys who are quick, can get into the lane defensively. Defensively was something that we were concerned about with these guys, but it's really offensively, even though they both have individually nice offensive games, can shoot the heck out of the ball, can handle it. Together, it just hasn't worked because neither of them can really beat you off the dribble and create their own bucket one-on-one. And that's where you really, 2 years later, you're still missing an Isaiah Wong, who was one of the best ISO players in the country. And that's where a Jaleel Bethia, who comes in as your highest rated recruit of all time, 5-star shooting guard, wing guy, combo guard. I mean, he's a guy who is projected or has been projected in the past by credible people as a top 5, top 10 type pick. He's only playing 12 minutes a game. The frustration's obviously there between him and Coach L sometimes in terms of shot selection. And then, you feel the kid gets his limited minutes, so he wants to make the most of what he's got, and he's maybe sometimes trying to do too much. So it's a tough back and forth with him right now, and you just really hope that at a certain point during the season, he can get it. He can get that confidence going and get those minutes up, man, because he's averaging 5.7 points a game, but you're looking at 38.9% from the field and 28% from three. So not great shot selection at times, but again, you can tell he's just he wants to be able to help this team and contribute. You got to continue to see good defensive effort, rebounding from him, all the stuff that Coach L is looking for to get you on the court. But that you're going to need him to step up if this team and become a real bucket getter for this team. It was around this time of year last year, not a good team either last year, but that Keyshawn George started stepping up and becoming more confident, and I'm hoping that Bethia, a similar thing happens with him here. So Matthew Cleveland, you just haven't seen that step up in production you were hoping for. The shooting's been good from him, which I noted in preseason. A lot of the guys on the team were telling me he's shooting 44% from three, 53% from the field. But I think you want to continue to see that aggression from him. 4.5 rebounds a game. I think that number is a little bit down from what we've seen in the past. And then defensively, you want to continue to see a good effort from him. And as a whole, as a team, because it hasn't necessarily been there. Brandon Johnson actually leads the team in minutes, 31.4, 10 points per game, 7.2 rebounds. And I think by the numbers, he's Miami's best rebounder, and he's looked it. And this is a guy I really want to see get more involved in the offense. I think right now he's just kind of scoring his points when he can. But, a guy who's shooting 31% from three, I think shot a way better percentage at East Carolina when he was at his previous stop. And it just seems like his shots aren't coming within rhythm. And again, I don't think it's fault of his own. Sometimes near the end of the shot clock, someone's got to do something. He's one of the few guys on the team, maybe one or two guys, who can really get to the bucket and like physically score a basket. I would like to see some more stuff for him kind of drawn up to just get him in certain spots on the floor, because I think he really, even though by the numbers he's our fourth leading scorer right now, I think he could be your most consistent player. It just the flow, you really want to see it start to come for him. AJ Staten-McRae coming over from Samford, about 20 minutes a game. I think he's someone you could see get more minutes. His shooting percentage is not great from three, 29%, which it was closer to 40% last year. So you'd like to see that number jump up, but his defense, his length, his energy is something that not many guys on this team have, and you need that right now if you're this team going into ACC play. I think Divine Ugochukwu has been probably the biggest surprise for this Miami team in a positive aspect. He's been awesome. You have a real future there with him as your future point guard of this team. Think he needs more minutes. He can get into the lane, can finish at the hoop, can defend. Just an absolute find and a half by Coach L and his staff last April, May, maybe. I mean, he was a late signee. So, and then Paul Jobay, he gives you some good minutes here and there. Offensively, the confidence has improved, but still, 14.3% from three, shooting 85% from the free throw line. So you like to see that. I don't know how many attempts he has. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Yeah, I mean, look, he's 12 for 14 from the free throw line. So definitely, a good step in the right direction for him. Defensively, energy-wise, rebounding, he gives you something as well, but continued development from him. Again, this roster as a whole, I think the issue is that on top of the fact that the pieces of the puzzle don't fit perfectly, which that's not, you're not always going to have the perfect personnel for how you want it to look. But if you're looking at this team moving forward, the minutes have been all over the place, not to the coaching staff or the players' fault. It's just there's so many new players that you're trying to figure it out. I would hope that they stick with, for right or for wrong, I would hope that they stick with certain things for games at a time here to let guys try to get in a rhythm, because I think shooting-wise, the shooting has not been as good as I thought it would be. You're shooting as a team 33% from three, and you have too many good individual shooters on this team to shoot that percentage. So that's kind of my thoughts on things right now, man. I've been frustrated, as a lot of you guys I'm sure have been. It's been a rough year and a half following this basketball team, but they've got some pieces, man. Let's hope that these last couple weeks where they haven't played as many games, same thing with, you got this break now for the next 10 days. Hopefully that kind of allows these guys to sit back and say, look, we've got a lot of season in front of us. You've got to go on a crazy run here. You're 4-7, right? So you've got to go on a run where you're winning your first like 5 or 6 ACC games, maybe, to get you into the mix, even to like start believing. And that's before I say 5 or 6, you have BC, Virginia Tech, Florida State, Wake Forest as your first 4, and then you have Duke as your 5th game there at Duke. So if you can go 3-1 in these next 4 games, just going into Duke, I think maybe you can build on that, and then who knows, maybe things get crazy and you really get hot there. But it'll be interesting to see. Coach L, hopefully that him and his staff can kind of keep this ship together, because you don't want to see them go on that run that they had last year to finish the season with a double-digit loss streak. And I'll be there today against Mount St. Mary's, dogfight. Hopefully not, but I think Miami's like 17.5 point favorites. So could be tighter than we hoped, like it was against Charleston Southern. Hopefully not, though. Hopefully not. But appreciate everyone for tuning in today. This is Kane's Insight. Again, this basketball content is sponsored by Aries Law PA. Check out AriesLawPA.com to set a free consultation. And again, that's for wills, trust. You got to protect your future. No one better than Aries Law PA. All right, everyone. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. See you guys on Monday.